Holiday shopping season is upon us, and I'm going to tell you the absolute best thing you can get for not only yourself, but your fish as well. Hello everyone, this is Bentley. And a little different, but we're going to talk about a holiday season shopping video. Yeah, that's right. Us Aquarists, too, like to maybe get a present for ourselves every once in a while. Maybe we want to get a gift for our beloved swimming friends. Well, I want to show you the absolute best gift you can get. Now, I don't necessarily mean exactly this, but I mean like a stool, a chair, anything that is going to get you to sit and spend a little more time in your fish room. You're what your fish need. Not a new filter, not a new light, not a new heater, not a new food, although I'm sure they would love a treat, maybe some frozen food, but you're what your fish need. The best anything in this hobby, whether that's a piece of equipment or what, is whichever one gets you to engage more with your tanks. It's that easy. It's that simple. There's not some magic thing that could be like, it's this. It's a pill. It's a additive. You pour it in. It's a strip. It's a whatever. None of that. Whichever one gets you to spend a little bit more time with your tank, whether that's just observing it and enjoying it, whether that's doing a little bit more maintenance, an extra water change, an extra test, whatever that might be, something that keeps you in your fish room is going to help that. I know this sounds a little weird, might be a little silly, you might be laughing at it, I hope you're laughing at it, but I'm actually really serious here. The goal of this one, and this will be a short video, this will be easy, but I'm going to tell you the story of two different tanks. The first is your tank. That's right. You. And the second is Bentley's tank. Bentley's tank, right? Well, Bentley got a new job. Bentley's working more. He's not able to do as much maintenance, so it's a good thing he's got the best filter and the best light, and he uses the best fish food, the best fertilizer. But it turns out he gets a massive algae outbreak like the one that's happening in this one, right? Or maybe he's not feeding his fish as regularly as he used to. He's not paying attention to the fact that one of those fish is acting a little differently. Because, well, I've got the best everything, don't I? So I don't need to pay attention. Now let's talk about the story about your tank. You don't need the best of everything. You could have a simple sponge filter. A humble under gravel filter. Maybe you've got a used hand-me-down filter that you got from a friend, a family member, some person on Craigslist or something. Who knows, right? But if that's the one that you take care of and you maintain regularly, if you're paying attention to your fish tank, if you're noticing when your plants are getting a little overgrown and this one plant over here is struggling to get some light, so I better trim them back and help that plant get a little more light. Or maybe, oh, this plant looks like they're not growing right. Test my water a few more times. There's not really much nitrate in my water. Maybe I need to dose an extra little pump of fertilizer or something. Your tank will have success. Now, will we run into problems? Every once in a while we're going to have a little algae. Every once in a while we might deal with a sick fish or a stressed out fish. These happen. We're trying to control the chaos of nature in glass boxes. Nature doesn't like to be controlled, and nature will fight us. But in your tank, if you spend a little bit more time paying attention, you'll notice those things earlier, and you'll be able to take measures to help prevent them. In your tank, you can notice when one plant is doing phenomenally well, and another is struggling, and make adjustments. In your tank, you can see that those annoying rainbow fish eat all the food before it ever gets down to the Corydoras. So maybe I need to have two different foods, one for the Corys, one for the rainbows. Observations like this are one of the most important keys to having success with any fish tank. One of the biggest struggles that a lot of fish keepers, whether they are new or have been in the hobby for 20 years, can struggle with is a little bit of, I'm too busy for that right now, or that tank can go an extra couple of weeks. And the reason why I say this is I have been that person lately, and I had to clean a filter in a tank over there, and I realized how behind I was on cleaning that thing, and man, was it a mess. And now, only a couple days later, I can already see a lot of benefits from having done that little bit of maintenance. And I've got one more filter over there that I got to work on tomorrow, right? It's like these things where sometimes we get a little busy in life. Life comes at us with curveballs all the time. But if we use the pieces of equipment and the things like that that help us interact with our aquarium and be more observant of our aquarium day to day, we just have one of these to sit on every once in a while, we'll notice more. We'll be able to relax a little bit more too. But we'll notice more. We'll be able to see those problems and start attacking them head on earlier before they get to a stage of where they're almost impossible to recover from. That will, in the long term, give us way more success. This humble little thing, a chair, a stool, whatever it may be, in your fish room or by your fish tank. If you've only got 1 or 2 tanks, hopefully they're close enough together to where you can have one little chair. I've got this little rolling stool that I sit on. I'm sure you can hear it creaking. But I use it not only for filming, right, it happens to sit me just like the right angle to look nice, right? But also, often when I'm doing maintenance on some of my tanks, I sit on this because it helps me look at some of my tanks that are a little lower. Or it puts my head right eye level with this tank instead of standing. Gives me a different view. Lets me take a little more time to appreciate it and make sure that I can catch things a little earlier. You are what your fish need for this holiday season. Just a little extra attention. So when it's dark or the weather's nasty outside, maybe it takes an extra 15 minutes every day, 10 minutes every day. Maybe it's an hour that you've got time to just sit back, relax, get a little Zen mode, maybe have a cup of coffee or tea, whatever it may be. Spend a little extra time with your fish and your plants. Not only will you get to appreciate nature, but you'll find more success in the long run. That's it. That's my tip. That's my shopping guide to you. You're the gift. Best part? It's kind of free. If you've already got a chair, easy peasy, right? But if you don't, there's lots of cheap ones out there. You don't need something fancy. Although maybe you do. Maybe you need some really crazy recliner. I don't know. Whatever it is that helps get you in your fish room a little bit more, pay a little more attention to each of your tanks. That's what's going to help you in the long run. That's my tip. That's my lesson for today. A little bit of extra attention, because that will mean the difference between success and something surprising you kind of out of nowhere, and the heartache that can come with that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I wanted to go something simple, semi-philosophical, and also it kind of popped in my head when I was cleaning that filter the other night, and I was like, oh, I let this go about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, okay, let's be honest, like 2 months, longer than it should have. We should talk about that, right? Because I'm learning lessons on my own behalf, because as I'm adjusting the things in my own life, I'm going, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough. Find a way to make that time. So, if you've enjoyed this, leave a like, leave a comment down below. Is there something that you've done recently to change, to help for the betterment of your fish tanks? Maybe you've dealt with some problems and you've run into your own problem because you kept telling yourself, it'll be okay. I'll do it next week, or one of those things. I'd love to hear from you all below. It's one of my favorite parts about FishTube's interacting with you wonderful people. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. But if you are subscribed, maybe consider sharing this video to a friend. It's one of the best ways to tell the mighty all YouTube algorithm gods, they're all-powerful beings in YouTube land, that, hey, I like this stuff and maybe someone else too. As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome.